Hello friends and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Now last episode we started making a bunch of the different alloys that we need from Thermal Series to progress in this pack, which of course is Sky Revolutions. Today we need to do a lot more work to get more of the alloys, and that includes delving into the Powah mod, which is something that I don't do a lot of, so it's going to be an exploratory adventure. But before we get to that, for the first time in the history of this channel, we get to go through our mailbag. You all have been leaving a lot of comments, and so I wanted to pop in and respond to a few of those. So first off, longtime viewer Blackest Dawn gave us a great tip. Blackest Dawn is telling me I need to build Faraday armor for immersive engineering so that I don't keep electrocuting myself if I'm going to be dealing with live wires. Now, we do have all of our wires right now nicely wrapped. And apparently my pneumatic craft setup just exploded in the background. That's great. But I do think Faraday armor is a great idea for us to go ahead and build. I usually forget about Faraday armor because, of course, it's for immersive engineering, but I don't think it's even in the manual for immersive engineering. So the way that we make this is with aluminum plates. So I've started to automate our metal press setup a little bit, and things are getting claustrophobic in here, I will admit. So we're going to drop 24 aluminum ingots into our press and turn those into aluminum plates real quick. Alright, there is our 24 aluminum plates, and now we can use these to craft a suit of armor with the same recipes we would normally be using for our armor. So first off, we make the chest plate, we then make the leggings, we can then make the helmet, and last but not least, we can then make the boots. So with these on us, we will be able to look sharp and also avoid electrocution. And I think, can I put this in a backpack slot? Yeah, I can put that in the backpack slot. The only thing here is that I don't know if my engineer's goggles will continue to work while I'm wearing this if I have it in that slot. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see stuff anymore, but we should still be able to access our backpack. We can, and of course now we look super cool and cannot be electrocuted. So that's going to be a major life upgrade for us. So I don't even need to worry about wrapping my cables in the future, but I probably still will. So thanks again, Blackest Dawn, for that tip. The next tip for us comes from Trey Hill. Trey pointed out that I am struggling with my deployers. I always have struggled with deployers because I feel like every single time I put down a deployer, it sits at a direction that I do not want, like sideways. That's not great. Trey points out that if we put down a deployer while we are shift clicking, it's going to go in the opposite direction of the item that we're putting it on. So for instance, if I shift click to put it on this belt, it's going to point at the belt, and the place where we actually add the power is going to be facing me. So this makes it really easy, and hopefully if I remember to always shift click this, I will never screw this up again. So Trey, thank you for that. This is going to make my life so much easier because I do struggle with that and create constantly. Next up, we have a challenge from Mau. Mau left me a lot of amazing comments and a lot of good tips, but specifically this challenge I cannot ignore. He is playing through this same mod pack, and he is challenging us to play a peaceful run, with the exception of killing the Wither, killing the Gaia Guardian, and of course anything that we need to generate the items for those specific bosses. So I'm willing to take up that challenge. I'm not sure if we'll be able to succeed in it because I don't know how to get all of the ingredients in this pack yet, so I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I am always up for a challenge, so that's what we're going to do. We are going to try and make this a peaceful run with killing no mobs deliberately. Now, if I accidentally set my bees on fire, which may have happened in the past, we're not going to talk about that, but for the most part, we are going to be playing peaceful here, and that means no mob killing. So we're going to try that and see how far we can get. And last but not least, a shout out to our new friend Raven86, who left me a nice comment saying that he has been watching my videos during his long shifts at work, and I really appreciate you watching, and I hope that those shifts go painlessly and that we can be a little bit of entertainment for you as you're getting through the day. So, thanks again for watching. With no further ado, let's dive right in, friends. So as I mentioned at the end of the last episode, we needed to make up a bunch of ingredients to make up our dielectric paste. Now that took me a long while because this requires cinnabar. Cinnabar requires a whole bunch of redstone in our pneumatic craft pressure chamber, and as you just heard, In the background earlier, I'm really bad at pneumaticraft and I tend to explode things rather than making ingredients. So that took me a while and I only blew it up 3 or 4 times at least. So now we have enough of that cinnabar so that we could make our signalum blend. I made a bunch of that in electrum and porcelain clay, and now we have plenty of dielectric paste. At least we have some dielectric paste. Let's not say plenty. So we're going to go ahead and start making our dielectric rods here. I don't want to use all of my paste this early, so let's just do 32 rods. We're going to need at least 1 dielectric casing here, so we do need to go and take some of these rods and transform them. So let's go ahead and find those rods again, and we need to make them vertical. So let's do 4 of those vertically for now. With that, we make our casing, now that we have vertical rods, and we can then use those to make ourselves an energizing orb. Now, I believe the energizing orb, we are also going to need to use something to actually energize them, so these energizing rods. And that means that we need to make these up with capacitors and more casings. So actually, let's go ahead and make ourselves a couple of more casings. There we go, I think 4 casings to start. And now we need to make some capacitors. The basic capacitors are pretty easy. We just need to make ourselves up a couple more of these redstone blocks. But yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can't make the basic orbs, or the basic energizing rods. Let's see here. Where did those capacitors go? Oh, that's why we need to transform the basic capacitors into tiny capacitors. So let's do 8 of those. There we go. So now we should be able to make 4 of these energizing rods, at least the starter ones. I think we have everything we need. Oh, maybe we are out. Oh no, I've already made 4. That's why I missed the 4th one there. So these are starter rods. I would like to immediately upgrade to the next tier if I can here, and that means we need 4 more dielectric casings, and that means we need more of the vertical ones. Let's go ahead and make a few more vertical ones. There we go. 4 of the casings. And we are going to need now 8 of the basic capacitors, the regular ones. So let's go ahead and make some of those. Again, that means that we need more redstone blocks. I honestly should just move my redstone into a compressing storage drawer so that we can get those out a lot faster. But we'll do that. We'll do that later. So give me 2 of those. And now, with any luck, I should be able to make the basic ones. Oh, quartz. We need the quartz blocks. So, oh, that means we need more nether quartz. Oh, we're almost out. Okay, no problem. Well, let's go ahead and do some bulk washing of some soul sand to get a whole bunch more nether quartz. And as you all might remember, we can get soul sand from regular sand. All right, so let's go ahead and make ourselves up our basic energizing rods real quick here. Just gonna put these in place and these in place. All right, so let's do another one of those. All right, and there is our 4 energizing rods and our energizing orb. Okay. And so I think this is all we need to power this setup. Now we do need to actually get our power connected into the system that we're going to build here. So let's go ahead and use our same energy pipe setup that we've already built here. That'll save us on a bunch of ingredients. So it doesn't seem to want to interact with the pipes mod energy cables. So I guess we have to make these energy cables instead. So for that means we're going to need more rods, of course. And then we are going to need some capacitors. I think we can go ahead and make the upgraded ones here. So let's go ahead and make some more of these. Where do those go? It keeps moving around on me. There we go, with the basic capacitors. Yeah, we can make those. Great. The question is, will these connect to our other power network? It looks like they will. And with any luck, our energy rods, yeah, will go right down on top of that without any trouble, and that will then connect to our existing power network with no problem, I hope. Okay, so those 4 should then be able to power this energizing orb. Now we need something to make with the energizing orb. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the various ingredients. I think this energized steel would be a good one to start with. That's just iron and gold on one of these. So let's go ahead and grab up some iron. And actually, let's go ahead and grab up more iron than that, right? Let's do 8 pieces for now. Let's grab up some gold. And again, we're only going to do 8 pieces there. And now we should be able to take these and put them into the system here. So if I put that there and this here, there you go. You can see the lasers are shooting at it, and that was pretty quick. And that transformed just as soon as we took our eyes off of it. And there we go. Now we have 16 pieces of energized steel. So that will help us in our quest. Now we need to figure out how to make lumium. How do we make lumium in this pack? In other packs, it was relatively simple. It was glowstone dust, I think, with some of our other ingredients. But yeah, this pack seems to be complicated. Oh, so we need Enderium and we need lightning charge. A lightning charge. And that means we need to make an earth charge. And that means we need to make gunpowder and we need basal's powder. Okay. And basal's powder we get from a basal's shard, and a basal's shard we get from a blaze rod, and a blaze rod we can make with blaze powder in our metal press. Okay, that is a heck of a series of things that we need to put together. So let's, first things first, go ahead and grab up our other blueprint. Somewhere in here we have another blueprint. There's our engineer's blueprint. Put that on our table because we need to make our next template here, our metal press for rods. So we need 3 steel plates. And that means, oh, we don't even have steel plates yet. So let's go ahead and use our smooshing machine to do some smooshing. That's going to give us our 3 steel plates, 2 and 3. Here's our wire cutters. We can then drop our plates in here and we can get our metal press for our rods. We're just going to swap this back because that's the recipe we probably are going to need more often. Drop that back in here. And we can now use the rod recipe. So the rod recipe means we need to go grab up a stack of blaze powder over here. And thankfully our sand is still grinding away. And now we are going to use this with the metal rod template to make up a bunch of those blaze rods. So let's swap this off of the machine here. I've gone ahead and put a shelf here so that we can store all of our presses, our die presses, in a nice, easy to find location. And there we go. Now we have our blaze rods coming through the system. And there we go. An unlucky number of blaze rods. That's 13 of those. Okay, and now we need to use these to make our basals. So we can drop those into a blaze mesh container to get the basals shards. This is the blaze mesh one. Let's drop these in. There we go. That's 13 of those. Now we can use those to make basal's powder, and it looks like if we put it in the pulverizer, we get extra. So let's do that. We'll put it in the pulverizer here. I did go ahead and upgrade these. I made the reinforced integral components for both of our machines just to speed this along a little bit. And we can also, of course, use our temporal pouch to speed up even more. And we don't use too much power that it can't keep up with that, generally speaking, because of the huge amount we can now store in here. All right, 39 basal's powder. That is a lot. Hopefully we won't have to think about this again for a little while. Okay, so we can then use that to make our earth charges. So let's make up a couple of those. I'm actually just going to dump these in here. Let's make up even more of those. And how many of these do we actually need? 3 to 2. So let's make up, I don't know, 15? 15 sounds good. Probably going to need more than that, but 15 sounds like a good starting point to me. We'll drop that into our pressure chamber here. Well, the pressure craft stuff is doing its thing. Why don't we go ahead and make ourselves a storage remote? I feel like this is something that we need so often that we may as well have direct access to our storage network wherever we are, at least anywhere nearby here. So we can go ahead and make one of these. So make the storage network root first, and then we should have all the ingredients for the remote itself. Now we need to bind it to a network. So let's go down here and grab that node just like that. And now we have a remote access to all of our ingredients here. That's awfully nice. While we're at it, let's go ahead and make a diamond upgrade because our storage container here is getting awfully full for our iron chests storage. So that'll give us about, 25% more space. So we're going to make that diamond as well. And there we go. We have 10 lightning charges now. So we can use those to continue crafting in our induction smelter with the Enderium we've made and some glowstone to make some Lumium. So let's see here. How much Enderium do we have at this point? Ooh. Only 2. Well, maybe we should make up some more Enderium real quick. I'll do that off camera. It'll just take me a second because this requires a lot of annoying ingredients to get, notably the Ender Pearl Dust. And there is our Enderium. Wonderful. Okay, so now we put all of this in here to get our Lumium. So 6 of those. We need 6 lightning charges and 6 pieces of glowstone. All right, momentarily. There we go. There is our Lumium coming out. Let's just speed this along a little bit. Perfect. All right, another quest done. So that's most of the alloys. Now we are on to the complicated ones. We need to make ourselves some charged amethyst. So let's see here. Amethyst. We need the charged version here. So let's see here. Charged amethyst comes from an amethyst cluster, but we need amethyst shards inside of our energizing orb. So let's go ahead and make some of those. Well, we can probably do a stack here without too much trouble. So let's do just one at a time. And at some point I do need to automate this system, but I've never found a really good way of automating this stuff in Powah, just because it doesn't seem to want to let you. All right, slowly but surely we are getting to a charged amethyst, and this is taking forever. It needs 100 million FE. Yeah, we're gonna let that do its thing for a while here. Is there any other way of getting charged amethyst? We can maybe get it from an amethyst cluster, which we can maybe get out of a crystallizer. What would it take to make the crystallizer? Well, these are all ingredients that we have. We can make this real quick, right? Yeah, this looks safe. This is any glass. Okay, so let's try and make ourselves a crystallizer, because that's probably going to be the easier way to do this. So let's go ahead and grab that recipe, add it to our menu. We need a machine frame, and as we learned before, that means we need a basic processor, which we can do relatively easily. Let's take that, and we're going to cook this over here real fast. That we are going to need to add a, let's see, that's the construction core. We need some glowstone dust, and we also then are going to need a machine casing. So that means we need a aluminum scaffolding. Let's make some of those. Actually, I should still have some laying around. Ah, we do. All right, so aluminum scaffolding. And then that also then needs a diamond gear. So let's grab a diamond gear, and we will use that in our deployer momentarily. The other thing that we are then going to need here is to take our construction core. So we need glowstone dust. There we go. There's a construction core. All right. And let's go ahead and put this together real fast. So aluminum scaffolding goes there. We put a diamond gear on here. Perfect. Construction core. Great. There is our machine frame. I really love that recipe, y'all. Normally I hate using the deployers for crafting, but I think that that works so well in sort of the game world that we're building here. I'm actually a really big fan of that. We are out of signalum, so let me make some of that real fast. Oh, only in the multi-servo press. Okay, that's a problem. How do we make a multi-servo press? Bronze ingots, constant gears, blocks of iron. Yeah, I think we can do all of that. All right. So apparently we have to stop and make a multi-servo press first. Yeah, we're just gonna grin and bear it. So let's do some copper dust. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And tin dust. Let's see here. We need tin. 1, 2, all right, pulverize, I assume. There we go, and then that should make for us, whoops, that's wrong. That should make for us bronze blend, and then I think that bronze blend, nope, we can just cook in a smelter? Yeah, we can. There we go. Now we have bronze. Okay, wonderful. Constantin gears we can make. That's easy. Okay, perfect. Redstone coil we can make. Easy. And that should be everything. Yeah, okay. Multiservo press. So let's put this down onto our network. We'll put it on the end here. All right, that's getting power slowly but surely. And then that we can use to make signalum plates. I think if we just put straight in here with no die, that should come out as a plate, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it will. Okay, wonderful. 1 and 2. There we go. And now let's see here. Do we have everything that we need? We have nothing that we need. All right. Right, because we used up all of these ingredients making up everything else. Now, the only difficult part of this is that we need hardened glass for it, but we can make that in an induction smelter. So again, we'll take 1 piece of sand, 1 piece of nether quartz, and 1 piece of obsidian, and that will make us our hardened glass. There we go. There's the missing ingredient that we needed. And now we should have everything we need for a crystallizer. There we go. Great. So crystallizer, let's drop some amethyst shards in here, and that is gonna also be missing water. So actually our water source is over here. So maybe what we do is actually pick this up and put it over here. And let's go ahead and run a power cable over this way. There's our energy pipe, and now we need to put water into it. So do we have enough fluid pipes to stretch this far? We might not, at which point I will need to actually build some more. Come on, let's get right here. And can I get the inputs? Perfect. All right, that will work for us. And actually, I'm just going to refactor this real quick here. There we go. And our crystallizer is slowly but surely working. And there we go. We're already getting some amethyst clusters out. So when the next one comes in, there we go. We're going to take 2 of those and we put these in the crusher, right? In the crushing wheels. I believe this is how we do this. So let's go ahead and turn this machine on. Throw these in here, and there's only a 25% chance that we're going to get one, but we did get a charged amethyst. Wonderful. Okay, so the odds are in our favor, and we love it. But it looks like it wanted us to build a reactor first. Oh, so this doesn't seem to be using the reactors from Powah. This is using the Bigger Reactors reactor, which we're very familiar with. I have played a lot with this over the years. If I remember correctly, this mod started as a add-on to Mechanism to give it some better reactors than what are in there, and this is a complicated thing to do. But it does look like not everything from that mod is in here. I'm not seeing the turbines, for instance. So let's see here what we're actually going to need. 1 reactor terminal, 21 reactor casings, 2 reactor access ports, a reactor control rod, and a redstone port. Okay. And it looks like these are made with graphite and uranium. Now, thankfully, we've been making uranium in the background, so that's in our auto processing. Graphite, it looks like we have to use charcoal or coal and double cook those. And we're going to put this right in here. Great. So that should turn into graphite ingots for us here in just a second. There we go. There's our graphite ingots. With our graphite ingots, we can now make ourselves up a bunch of reactor casing, and I want to make sure that everything else here is using reactor casing and not graphite. That was what I was afraid of. So we don't want to use up all of our graphite. We just want to use up most of our graphite. So let's go ahead and make ourselves a bunch of reactor casings, but not too many. Let's do 32 to start. And again, all that uranium is already being made in our grinder for our resources on the other side of the map. So let's see here. Next, we need a reactor terminal. That should be easy. We've got that. And then we need a reactor access port. What are we missing for this? Oh, we need a piston. Okay, that's easy. 1 piston. Okay. And now we need a redstone port. We can make that. And a control rod. We can make that. Great. What are we missing? Oh, we need 2 reactor access ports. I guess that makes sense. We need an input and an output, right? Let's do another one of those. There we go. Okay, so that should be that. Oh, and we get plutonium for free. Let's put this back. We're going to try and power this with uranium if we can. All right, we're probably going to have to make more graphite, but let's go ahead and make ourselves a small reactor real quick here. I think it has to be a square, if I remember correctly. We need to put the terminal somewhere on a side that we can access it. There we go. And then we put some reactor glass down just to make it pretty, like that. You know, maybe I'll do even more reactor glass. But first things first, we do need to have our inputs and our outputs and our redstone connections. So let's put a access port here. Let's put a redstone connection here. Let's put another access port on this side, and I really need to make this platform bigger for us. Put some more reactor glass in place, and we'll fill in the backside here with this. You know, now that I remember this, I think we need fuel rods for this as well. I think that that's how this works. We could put the reactor control rod here, and then I think we put the fuel rods underneath. I think that's how that works. Oh, and now I'm trapped in a reactor. That is not good. That is not good. Okay. Let's close that back up. That should become a single multi-block. We can see by the sides it has. And it looks like everything is working okay. This is going to be the input. And then the waste ejection should be over here. So we're going to make that the output. There we go. And now I think this is ready to go. And if I put this here, that should now be getting fuel. Yeah, it looks like it put 8 pieces of fuel in there. And if I turn this on, yeah, that's producing power. Ah, yes, that's what we need. We need the power tap, not the redstone tap. That's what I screwed up here. So let's grab that, and we are going to replace the redstone port with the power tap. That's what we need. Perfect. Even better. Okay. Now we should be able to then bring our energy pipe off of that. We do need to tell it to pull out of there, and we should then be able to connect this up. And power should flow into our system once we turn this on. Alright, so to get any further from where we are in all of these other ingots, we are going to need to take a long divergence through Botania, because we need a bunch of stuff out of here that we can't get any other way. Now, it has been a very long time since I have been this deep into Botania. We are going to have to be making our portal to Alfheim, and that's going to be a bit of a pain. We also are going to need to do a whole bunch of setting up for that. And you know what? If we're going down this rabbit hole anyway, it looks like right off of Terrasteel is the Gaia Spirit. And that's how we get into Project E, and that starts solving a lot more of our problems for us. So this might be the thing to do. I think since we only have limited time remaining in today's episode, I'm going to go ahead and at least get us started on creating Terrasteel and the Elven Portal. And I think that's probably as far as we're going to get with the time we have. So let's get started. First things first, for Terrasteel, there's a couple of things we're going to need to do here. The first thing is to make this agglomeration plate. So the agglomeration plate here is just living rock, lapis, and monosteel. So we can make a block of monosteel by throwing a block of iron into a pool of mana. So let's grab ourselves one block of iron. And we can just throw that in. Yeah, this one's fine. Okay, so there's our block of monosteel. Now we need to go make some living rock. And you know what? While we're at it, I'm going to make us extra living rock because I'm going to make some more mana pools here in the near future. Great, now we have a full stack of our lovely living rock. And of course, now we are starving to death as well. Hurry up and eat some apples. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so we've got that done. We've got this done. The only thing we're missing is 3 blocks of lapis. We have so much lapis in here. I don't even know what to do with it all. So 3 blocks will be no problem for us. There we go. So now we can make our Terrasteel agglomeration plate. So now we're going to need a bunch more lapis, and with the extra living rock we've got, we can build this altar for the plate. So to power this beast, we are going to use Energizera, which is a mana generating flower that uses RF to be able to make power. So to make one of these is relatively straightforward, but we do need runes of energy, and that is annoying because we need to make runes of fire and runes of air to get there. So let's make a couple of those real quick. So rune of fire is relatively simple. We do need to grow netherwort, which we can actually get by throwing a blaze rod into a mana pool with an alchemy catalyst. And we should be able to, yes, make netherwort out of them. Okay, so there's the first piece of the puzzle. So this we now need to bring over here. And yeah, any of these will do. Take that. Okay, that's the second ingredient done for the rune of fire. We need 2 pieces of mana steel, which means we need to grab up some iron. So let's go iron. We'll do 1, 2. And yeah, we can put that in that one. Perfect. Okay. And then nether bricks we can get out of ash brick. And as we learned before, ash brick is made by smelting down ash. Ash can be made by smoking planks. There we go. There's our ash bricks. And then these we can take over here and turn into nether bricks. Perfect. Okay. So that's the next ingredient. And then all we're missing is gunpowder, which I think we have lying around. We do have a bunch of gunpowder. Excellent. So now we should be able to do this. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. Let's take one back. And 5. There's that. And now all this needs is more mana. So I think that's what it's waiting on here. Put down our living rock. And there we go. We get 2 runes of fire. And mana powder. Get those back in here. What else are we going to need for that? Some string. No problem. We can do that. String. Okay. The feather, I don't remember how to make. Let's see here. Oh, it's a string. Okay. So string again. Let's do one more string. So I think I can just do this. There we go. There's a feather. And then last but not least, we need any carpet? Yeah, just 2 pieces of wool. So we need to make a couple of pieces of wool first. There we go. And there we have carpet. Okay, great. So now we should be able to put this together. So there's the carpet, there's the mana powder, there's the mana steel, there's a feather, and then, oops, it looks like we lost our string somewhere in the mix. So let's grab up 1 piece of string. And we can put this down. And there we go. We had our living rock. And perfect. Now we have our rune of air. Wonderful. All right. So those together, we should be able to make this rune of energy next. Mana diamond, and then 1 rune of air, 1 rune of fire. Now we can go. Okay, there's that. And perfect. All right, so now we have our rune of energy. Oh, and it looks like it didn't consume the runes that we had. That's wonderful to know. Okay, so now we just need a green petal and 3 red petals. There we go. I need to figure out how we go about actually stocking this in a way that makes sense. I don't know how to keep it all going. I remember there's something about like using a dispenser and buckets and some sort of a loop you can do here, but it's fine. It's fine. All right. Either way, we have our Energizera. So that's great. I'm going to go ahead and put the dirt up right here. I'm going to put the Energizera there. And this is, yeah, it's going to start pulling from the nearest block it can find that has any sort of power. So we actually need to make some sort of an energy unit, something that's going to hold power. A capacitor, an energy cell, something like that. How about a Powah energy cell? Can we do that? I think we can do a Powah energy cell. So let's see here. The starter cell we should be able to make if we have any tiny capacitors left. There we go. Let's do that. And do we have a dielectric casing we can make? We can. And that gives us a energy cube. I wonder if we can make the next level up yet. That requires 2 energy cells. Yeah, we could probably do this. Yeah, and there's the basic one. We'll take that. Okay, wonderful. So will this connect just right onto here? It will. That's what I like to see. So we're going to put this right next to the flower. So that's the block it wants to pull power from. Then we just connect this up with our energy pipes. So let's go ahead and put this here. And that should then power the Energizera. Now, the only other thing I want to do here is probably upgrade the energy pipe so that we can pull power faster. So let's go back to pipes and let's go ahead and make ourselves some upgrades. Let's do basic, let's do improved, and then last but not least, I think we have enough diamonds that we can do one advanced as well. So let me put this on here, and now we can pull a lot more energy out. And that's starting to build up. Let's turn on our reactor and hopefully it won't burn down. And that should power everything up a lot faster. And you know what? I'm gonna pull that amethyst shard off of there because that is the least efficient way to make our charged amethyst that I have found. Or first we should set up our Terrasteel agglomeration plate. I'm gonna do that probably right over here. And then that gets living rock on the corners with lapis in between and living rock in the middle and a Terrasteel agglomeration plate on top. I believe that's the right recipe. Then we can take our mana spreaders and point them at this in both cases. And so now we need a mana steel ingot, a mana diamond, and a mana pearl. Then all we have to do is put them on this plate, I believe. So 1, 2, 3. There we go. Those are getting power from our power system. Well, it looks like my items despawned before they could actually be made. That is not a good sign. So it looks like I need to reset this up so that I have a mana pool in between first so that the mana is getting stored, maybe multiple mana pools. And then we use that to power the agglomeration plate. That also means I probably should make a whole bunch more Energizers and maybe other ways of powering this as well. Alright, took about 4 tries, but we finally have our Terrasteel at long last. Wonderful. I actually had to make more of the blackest lotuses to be able to do that because it just would not work. So now we are ready to make our Elven Gateway core. And with that, we'll be able to make our portal to Alfheim. So we're going to need 8 living wood, 3 glimmering living wood, and then we're going to need also the portal center. What is it called? The Elven Gateway core, right. So let's go ahead and make those real quick. So Elven Gateway core, we can take our Terrasteel and turn it into Terrasteel nuggets. So that's going to give us our core here. There we go. And now we need the glimmering living wood. Let's see here. This one, I believe. So we should just be able to take living wood logs and combine those with our glowstone, right? So let's do 1, 2, 3. And then somewhere in here we have some glowstone dust. Let's see here. Glowstone, 2, 3. There we go. There's our glimmering living wood logs. And that should be everything we need for the portal. That isn't actually everything we need for the portal. And now we can make 2 of these monopylons. 1 and 2. Oh, already made 2 at once. Okay, even better. Great. So let's go ahead and take these, and we're going to put these down over top of our mana pools, just like that. So what I think we need to do is put the Elven Gateway core at the bottom. Living wood goes on the sides of that. We're going to pillar up 1 block, do another block of living wood, another glimmering living wood, and another regular living wood on top of that. We do the same thing on the other side here, living wood, glimmering, regular. I'm going to go up 1 with that just for a second because we will be replacing that. And let's cut that block down, remove the dirt. And that should be it for the portal. Now, I think these just have to be trained on this. There we go. And that should give us our portal. Wonderful. Only it looks like it's cutting off pretty quickly there. So we do need to, I think, move our mana spreaders. There we go. And we're going to continue to fill these mana pools, which can then power this. And I think it needs some absurdly large amount. All right, we have poured in a bunch of Blacker Lotuses, and now our lovely portal to Alfheim is now open. So let's try out a test operation. Let's give it a couple of pieces of Mana Steel and see if we can't get anything back out of it. Ideally, Elementium. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that gave us our Elementium. Now, can we get Pixie Dust as well? Pixie Dust? Let's see, what do we need for that? Low covalence dust. Oh, we don't have low covalence dust. So if we can make an alchemy catalyst real quick, we can make pixie dust. What is the other quest? A dragonstone? What's the recipe for dragonstone? Let's see here, dragonstone. Add that. Block of dragonstone, mana diamond. Okay, great. So we can do that, no problem. All right, so let's grab up a couple of diamonds, turn those into mana diamonds, and then we should be able to throw these through the portal and get ourselves a dragonstone. There we go, a whole bunch of dragon stones. And now, last but not least, let's try and work on this pixie dust. Let's see here, low covalence dust, alchemy catalyst. I think we can make this. We have everything but the experience sheet, and the experience sheet we can actually make really easily. We just have to go over here and grab some of our nuggets of experience and put this into our squisher. There we go, 4 sheets of experience, and I think that is everything for an alchemy catalyst. There we go. All right, wonderful. So let's go ahead and throw this in the pulverizer real fast. Okay, and that, ooh, that not give us, oh yeah, there's our low covalence dust. Okay, great. We're gonna need more of that in the future, but let's just take a little bit of this and throw it through here. And somewhere, there we go. That is now our pixie dust. Excellent. With all of that in hand, I made a little bit more pixie dust and a little bit of elementium, and now we can do the last thing for today, which is make our wand of the Bifrost. Okay, wonderful. Now we have an amazing wand. And with that, we now have the Rod of the Bifrost, which of course we can use to make bridges once we have a mana tablet filled with mana. So for now, it doesn't do anything, but it looks awfully neat. I think that's a pretty good stopping point for today. We made a lot of progress, but we still have a long way to go. So I think next episode, we're going to start working towards the Gaia Guardian, which means that we are probably going to have to take on the Wither as well. So join us back here for that adventure next time. Thanks again for watching Enterprise Architecture. Bye, friends.